All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Marketplace Show Reset. And this is segment number two, our real estate segment with our real estate expert, Nancy Alert. This is the Alert Factor. And Nancy, good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Hope you're having a good week, a good day so far. How are you? Yeah, yeah. Unmute your microphone. There
I
you go.
am well. I am well. I'm well. Read two. Take two. I'm well. I'm well. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much. So looking forward to our conversation. We heard earlier from our colleagues on the Our Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle segment. Great conversation there. And this is obviously segment number two that we focus on the real estate portion. And for those of you that are in the real estate market, we do have a platform that serves as an invaluable tool for you to help you list, if you will, if you're able to showcase, list your property. If you're whether buying or selling, you're looking for real estate, we provide the tool for you to do that. All you got to do is go to www.themarketplacetv.com. Again, that's www.themarketplacetv.com, and you
Anthony, I think you're frozen, but he was saying going to www.marketplacetv.com to find everything you want to know about real estate, listing your property, selling, finding a realtor, whether you're looking in the DC metro area, whether you're looking in a different country. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, thank you for that. There's my something funky going on with the internet connection on this end. Not in the studio today. I'm normally in the studio, not in the studio today, and operating remotely. But anyway, let's jump right into it.
Yes.
So there are three reports we're going to play. I'm going to play the first report, and of course, as usual, after we play the first the report, then you give us your contribution to the subject matter and your analysis of it. Okay.
This is your Bloomberg Real Estate Report. I'm Denise Pellegrini. Well, some say the work at the office, Jeannie, is never going back in the bottle.
So from our work with IDC Research, 70% of all companies will be hybrid by 2025.
Peter Miskovich is a managing director of innovation consulting, JLL.
90% of all companies will invest in the smart workplace, and 70% of all companies will have a work from anywhere strategy.
And how about the office space that does remain, that does survive?
We're moving from a world where work was designed around the office and around location to where work is being designed around the individual.
Jennifer Janis, president at Pop House Design, says your employer will need to design it for what she calls a peak experience.
So it really has to be better than what you get at home to draw you out of your house.
And that's your Bloomberg Real Estate Report. I'm Denise Pellegrini.
Say you. What do you say?
So we are going to be a hybrid. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a hybrid. Say yes, say no. It's going to be a hybrid. You're going to have about 75% stay at home and the other 20%. You're always going to have manufacturing companies, restaurants, and business as such that you have to go in. However, the hybrid is going to be there. You're going to have less huge office spaces because you're not going to require that, because you're not going to have 50 people in an office at a time like you used to. Most of the people are going to be working from home. So it's going to be smaller office spaces, and that's where we're moving.
Yeah, I mean, 90, I mean, that's a very substantial number. 90% of workspace are going to be hybrid.
Yeah.
90%.
90%.
It says that it says the work environment, the landscape as to how people perceive work, both employers, employees are going to change.
Yes.
I don't know what that means for, if you will, later on, one of the reports is going to talk about technology and the metaverse, right? It just
Right.
seems like we are on an interesting track of
Right. Right.
what this new virtual work
Yeah.
remote world is going to
Yeah.
look like.
Yeah.
And people are going to now, because of technology, are going to be able to work anywhere, right? Employers are going to design workplace environment around, what how employees want to work. You
Exactly,
say
which means that you can be wherever. You can literally be at the beach and working, right? You do your 9 to 4, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, what have you, and you're at the beach. You're at the beach because you're getting your work done. You don't need to be in the office. Your employers are not paying all that overhead. It's a win-win for everyone. You're spending more time with your family. It's a total win-win.
Now, I mean, I know the beach part is it's can be a little bit controversial. Most employers don't want their employees on the beach while they're working.
Well, no,
So
no,
the
no. I mean, you could be doing your 9 to 5 in your hotel room or your condo, and then after you finish with work, you're at the beach. You go enjoy the beach. You don't
right,
have to
right.
be right. Yeah.
And and it's funny you say that, because one of the initiatives that my organization, which is we're a think tank, we're
Mhm.
a macro and macroeconomics and public policy think tank,
Right.
and we look at ways we can improve the way economies function, the way industries are positioned, how businesses are, improving, innovating their products.
Mhm.
And so one of the things I see for the Virgin Islands is, before the pandemic, was the initiative was called Workation.
Mm.
It is called Workation. And
Right.
Workation is really addressing the fact that they were saying that most Americans did not take their due time off.
That
Most
is
Americans
true.
were overworked.
Mm.
Most
That's
Americans had paid time off that they were not fully utilizing.
right. Right.
And because they were afraid to take the time off due to fear of losing their jobs, or, being obsolete,
Mm.
or, falling behind, et cetera, et cetera. So
Right.
here we are in this new environment now, which validates that new direction, that new way of approaching
Mm.
work and leisure time.
Mhm.
And so I just wanted to hear from you, what kind of activities do you see in terms of, where the commercial space, how the commercial space is doing. We know what's happening in the residential space, which we'll talk about in a minute, but just wondering whether or not this new pivot, the new transformation of work, are we seeing more employers, more demand or less demand for commercial space?
Right now, we're seeing less demand for office space, right? You still have your restaurants, your manufacturing business, like those that will always be, because you have to be in a space in order to do those businesses. But as far as office spaces, they're going to be smaller. Every business is going to have an office space, because you're going to have to at some point in time go in, maybe once a week or twice a week or what have you. But you don't need the 20,000 square foot space. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is going to have an office space, but not a 20,000 square foot office space. So most of those spaces will probably now be utilized for other things, like like restaurants and things like that. Storage, yeah, that is needed.
Well, I'm going to end it there, because we'll save this for a more in-depth discussion on this subject matter. But obviously, I believe the shared workspace kind of anticipated this new way of life, right, before the
Yeah, yeah,
pandemic. And that's why you had all of these different, if you will, startups in the real estate space,
exactly.
creating shared working
Mhm,
space.
mhm,
And it appears that was the inevitable. That's the future.
mhm,
Let's
mhm.
take a
It
break.
is.
When we come back after this break, we'll continue here on the marketplace real estate segment with Nancy Alert. This is the Alert Factor with our colleague Nancy Alert. We'll be right back.
Every great song has its own kind of vibe, just like the streets they come from.
Now all that music from across America will go head to head
On one stage. Every state and territory will compete live for your votes.
in the biggest televised music event you've ever seen.
America's next great hit.
Could come from your hometown.
American Song Contest premieres live March 21st on NBC.
I'm Charles Meriday, and I'm in the restaurant business. In my 20 years as a chef and restaurant owner, I've been able to work and eat in some of the great kitchens around the globe. There's a whole side of the restaurant that most people will never get to see. So now, I want to take you to the back of the house, into kitchens of some of the best chefs in the world. Along the way, I'll share some of my own tips and recipes so you can cook like a pro too. So join me in the back of the house for a whole new perspective on cooking and food. Order in. Roger. Serve it, please. I'm glad that you came. Please.
This is your Bloomberg Real Estate Report. I'm Denise Pellegrini. Rising inflation and rising mortgage rates may mean people will need more help purchasing homes, and builders may need help and encouragement building affordable homes. According to Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, he's speaking out in favor of the concept of a neighborhood home tax credit, possibly for builders and home renovators.
You know, if you go into places with dilapidated housing stock and you renovate and rehab, it's very likely that the cost of that rehab and renovation and the cost of acquisition of that property is greater than the market value when you're finished. And if that's the case, then you're not going to do it. So this is a tax credit to fill that so-called value gap. And so I think that would be very helpful for, a lot of inner cities where you've got a lot of old housing stock where, it's just vacant or, just being underutilized.
And Zandi says that was in President Biden's Build Back Better plan. Its fate is unclear now. And that's your Bloomberg Real Estate Report. I'm Denise Pellegrini.
All right, folks, we're back, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Anthony Weeks for the Marketplace Real Estate segment number 2. Joining me, my colleague Nancy Alert for the Alert Factor, Real Estate Factor here on the program. You're listening to WSDX 970 AM, WSDX Bloomberg, and you're watching us on our TV network on several platforms: Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and what you call Roku TV as well, and of course broadcasting on Tempo across the spectrum. So that report for me speaks on two fronts. So it says that I think we are at the juncture, that place where we realize that the existing home market is pretty much. I think they've determined it just isn't enough inventory
Right.
of existing homes.
For resale.
And so, exactly. So now new inventory has to be created. Where we saw before the Great Recession, prior to 2008,
Mhm.
that there were an influx of major subdevelopment, new community subdevelopment being built, and obviously where someone has a piece of land where they're going to build their home from scratch, or you have a lot of vacant properties that are either abandoned or just not used, and giving people the incentive to go in and renovate and rehabilitate this property. And the question is, what do you see? What does the real estate community see in terms of the need to now build new homes? Whether you build new homes from scratch, or you build taking existing homes that are vacant and to renovate them. What are you seeing in terms of those activities?
Well, I think right now it's more cost effective. Even though lumber and building materials are more expensive now than it has been in the past 5 years or what have you, it is more cost effective to build a home than get a resale, because if you're looking for a resale, there's about 20 buyers to one resale home, which means you're going to be paying significantly above, right? And there's already a low inventory. So if you buy a piece of land, you can have your home built, and there's all kinds of different types of credits, home credits and things that you can get to help you build your home. And there's a lot of builders that are getting government, county, state credits, tax credit, in order to for them to build more affordable homes.
Yeah, and see, that's key, because the government will need to play an important role
Yes.
in terms of providing incentive for the future homeowners,
Mm-hmm.
the residents of these communities, and those contractors that are builders and developers, to give them the incentive to come in and do that.
Yeah.
Because because of the supply chain disruption stemming from the pandemic, which then triggered high inflation, and now we're seeing energy price now also being so volatile, now compounding that problem. So now, how do you now mitigate the cost of material, where it now makes it more expensive because of the supply chain disruption to be able to build new homes? So you're going to now have to provide some sort of subsidy in terms of incentive,
Right.
to sort of balance it off, to make it more affordable for both homeowners, future homeowners, and developer contractors to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so in the markets like the DMV, I know markets like Atlanta, South Florida, you saw a lot of new subdevelopments.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like in the DMV, the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area? Did you have that kind of high demand for new construction, new subdivision, like you see in Florida, like you see in Atlanta, Georgia, and these other types, sort of southern state markets?
Most definitely. DC is a bustling metropolis. I mean, we are the leaders in the real estate industry. Yes, we are developing everywhere, building, renovating. We're doing all of it, renovating, knocking down older homes, rebuilding big homes, development, condos, townhouses, single family subdivisions. I mean, everywhere you go in the DC metro area, which includes Washington, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, lots and lots of development in the city and even out in the suburbs.
So would you say as a realtor, uh, are you of the opinion these new construction homes, newly constructed homes, are affordable, or are they? It depends on the location, the community that you're in, that will determine how competitive the market is, or the price range itself. What are you seeing in terms of affordability, in terms of new construction?
The affordability is definitely there. And if you're going to compare it with resale, you definitely have an affordability standard. And I'll explain why. When you put an offer on a new home, you put an offer on a lot and you said, this is what I'm going to buy, blah, blah, blah. And you put that offer in, you lock that in. No other person is coming in to add another offer and 20 people. So it's just that one person. And the base price is the base price. If the base price is 500, that's what the base price is. There's no negotiating. The base price is 500, and then you add what you want as far as your upgrades, wood floors, blah, 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 all of that. So you really have control of what that final price is in new construction. You can opt not for the wood floors that will take you there. You can opt not to have the deck or the finished basement, which will, bring your price down. So definitely you have more control in the new construction than you do on a resale now.
So would it then help if you have more competing inventory, like new construction or renovated properties? If you have more of those activities, it will then help make, if you will, going after an existing home more affordable, because you now have more options than you do right now. Because obviously right now it's people are going after, they're bidding, and they're trying to outbid each other for existing homes. So if you start building new construction on a renovated property, does that take the weight off of the existing home and create more option than try to drive prices down?
It does and it doesn't. And this is why a lot of the reasoning for the multiple bidding and the bidding up and the taking everything out of the contract is people want that home right now. They want it in 30 days or in 45 days.
They don't want to wait.
Days. They don't want to wait. And that's the only thing with the new construction. You're not going to be fighting over there, but you're going to be waiting 6 months. I went to one new construction site the other day and they said, oh, the first thing is 8 months. You may not have 8 months. If you have 8 months, then that's a great thing for you. But if you want it in 60 days, then resale is what you're looking at.
Got you. All right. And finally, this last report, I want to get your take on this, because I think this is an interesting report. Everything now is technology is dominating this new virtual environment that we're in. People, entertaining themselves and working and playing in virtual environment. Tell me what you think of this next report.
Okay.
This is your Bloomberg Real Estate Report. I'm Denise Pellegrini. Well, forget about buying physical property. People are buying up virtual land in the metaverse.
I think there'll be many, many different metaverse worlds. Some will be catering to gamers. Some will be catering to an office environment. They look like Manhattan, where you walk in and you go and you have meetings in what would be almost a virtual office. And
TerraZero CEO Dan Rietzig says now you could even take out a Meta mortgage, a small business loan, if you want to buy real estate in the ever-changing landscape of one metaverse called Decentraland.
We can change a scene on a parcel of land within hours. So just like Disneyland will never be completed, as Walt Disney said, it'll always continue to grow as long as there's imagination. So it means that we can rotate out attractions and venues, experiences weekly, so that no single visit is going to be the same.
And Rietzig says watch for more retailers to buy metaverse parcels as they look for more ways to engage with customers. And that's your Bloomberg Real Estate Report.
What say you?
I'm all in. I'm all in the virtual real estate. I'm all in. I've always been creative, out of the box thinking as it relates to real estate. And this was like, yes, you heard it here first. This is going to be like cryptocurrency. the virtual real estate.
Really?
It's gonna be like a Bitcoin. I'm telling you.
Are you serious?
You better get in now. You better get in now. Buy some virtual
Are you
real
now
estate.
saying, are you saying now, just like what they did with currency, they're going to do the same thing with real estate? Is that what you're telling me? Is that
The
what you're
virtual
predicting?
real estate, the same thing they did with the cryptocurrency is what's gonna happen with virtual. I'm telling you, you're gonna make money with buy some virtual real estate. You heard it here first from Nancy Alert.
Right. So there's the money making part, but in terms of the reality of people living in a virtual environment, um, how? I mean, how? I mean, I have so many questions, but how does that impact the
Well,
real
you can
estate?
have offices.
How does that? How does it impact the real estate community? I mean, is there going to be an opportunity for you guys to represent virtual properties? I mean, I have so many
Yes.
questions. So
I know we might have to do a part 2 on this.
no, we will. And your 1 hour show is going to be launching soon, so we have a
So
lot
we're
to
going
talk
to
about.
definitely talk about this part because this is fun, it's exciting, and it's going to be monetized to the next level. And yes, we will be able to, I think, realtors to sell and list virtual properties, have virtual meetings in virtual offices. I mean, it's yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Fantastic.
All right.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much. This has been the Marketplace real estate segment with my colleague Nancy Alert, the Alert Factor. Looking forward to her new show, a brand new show, The Hour Show, coming up very shortly. And thank you for tuning in. I want to say congratulations to Virgin Islander Cruise Rock, recording artist, Virgin Islander Cruise Rock. He will be making his debut on March 28th on the brand new NBC Eurovision American Song Contest. And every state and every territory has a recording artist that's going to represent their state and territory. And Cruise Rock, congratulations, Cruise Rock from the U.S. Virgin Islands, represent U.S. Virgin Islands on March 28th on stage, performing before the world. Folks, and Nancy, have a great day. Until next week, we'll talk soon.
All right. You too.
Bye.